Edward here from earviewer.com. I have another video for you. I'm continuing to explore a phenomenon that I am calling dimensional sensations, and what that means, why it's important in this process that I call perceptual expressionism, but is also termed remote viewing or this type of, quote-unquote psychic phenomena. But as the input has been acquired, and it is making its way through the core mental processes, stimulating emotional sensations, making its way to and through the threshold barriers, fluctuating or stimulating the barrier. But as that process is actually happening, there's another phenomena that I'm continuing to explore, and I'm calling that dimensional sensations. And what that means is that somewhere at or right below the threshold, these dimensional constructs become available, and they have a quality to them that is not unlike the mechanism of the barrier threshold itself, meaning that it has some mental process involved with it, but it also feels like it has some type of electromagnetic type of quality to it. And I may be using the wrong terms, but as far as the closest thing that I can even think of in describing it is something along those lines. That is not unlike the threshold itself, that as I'm exploring my own threshold, and I can sense that it appears that the threshold itself appears to be a combination of mental construct along with emotional construct and emotional reinforcement. But there's more qualities to it than just that. There's more to the threshold barrier than just that. And it almost has, or it seems to have, this quality like something that, like some type of electromagnetic infusion infused with the mental construct and the emotional reinforcement. That's just my guess at this point. I don't have any proof to that, other than that's what it feels like, and that's the best way that I can describe it. Dimensional sensations are very similar to that. We're in the experience of it, and that's why I'm doing these videos. That's why I'm capturing these things on video, because I want to capture the experience on video, and I want to explain what is happening when these phenomena are actually taking place in real time, and describe them as best I can. And so dimensional sensations are like that. It's as if some type of dimensional construct is in my above threshold awareness, but it's very faint, but it is there. And it's almost tangible. You'll see that in this video, and how it represents to the actual point in time and space, or the target, and how I'm continuing to I just want to explore the dimensional sensation. I don't care about the target. I want to explore further the dimensional sensation, and that's what I'm doing in this exercise. So that's why it's important for me to capture these things on video. Like I said, for me it doesn't matter what the target is. I'm not out for some sensationalistic remote viewing of sensational targets and all that kind of stuff. I'm not interested in that. That's not my role. Other people are doing that, and they're doing it far better than I do. So, but this is what my role is to capture these things on video, these types of phenomena, so that other people can see it, like fledgling remote viewers out there who don't know what they're supposed to be experiencing, and that they're supposed to be just words are supposed to be popping into their minds, and they're just writing it down. There's so much more to it than that. There's so much more to this process than just data mining or words popping into someone's mind and you're writing them down. There's so much more going on than just that, and I want to show that to people. And why do I want to show that to people? Because I want hundreds of thousands of people doing this, millions of people doing this, millions and millions of people having these experiences of accessing this greater part of ourselves. We need it more than ever now to explore and expand and actually be able to exist within this greater part of who we are. In my opinion, there's never been a time where we've needed this more. So anyway, that's some of my motivation, and so I hope you find this interesting, and many more to come. Let's get started. Test. All right, what do I want? Inputs, threshold fluctuations. Threshold fluctuation. Threshold fluctuation. by input stimulus. Is the threshold a combination? Well, the threshold must be a combination. Mental construct, emotional reinforcement. Why does it feel electromagnetic? It feels magnetic. Like there's some magnetism, electromagnetism coming up against it. What did I do about that? Get through it. It's not so much about the input getting through it as much as I want to get through it. Meet the input halfway. It's like a battle. It's like a battle with the threshold barrier. But I have a point in time and space, I have a point in time and space. I have a stimulus, I have an input, I have a stimulus. I have a stimulus to compromise the threshold, compromise the barrier. What do I want though? What do I want? Input, second reality, core processes, emotional stimulation, emotional process, barriers, belief barriers, liminal, subliminal, threshold barriers. Okay. Stimulus here, 3984. 3984. Outside, wide, angular, large, glassy, green, blue. See, these are all coming out very strongly. Wide, angular, outside, glassy, green. And it dipped below a little bit in here. 3984. Smooth, gapped, or space in between. That's an idea. It's a dimensional idea. 3984. Smooth and particles, pieces, or slots. 3984. So again, bits or pieces, particles, slots, and bits. What is that? I'm getting this kind of, this is creating a shape form. But something that looks like something like that. Hang on a second. Wait. Again, I'm getting this, this is kind of a generic. This is giving me memory comparator of the Titanic with these smokestacks here. something like that, like the pieces or slots, the spaces. That's kind of the thing, the spaces. There's space in between these things. This is the idea. And the idea is the space in between. You know, the space in between. That's kind of what I'm focused. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. Space in between. But yeah, angular, large in size, but angular. There's this kind of thing like this. Like that. There's this thing like that. And there's space in between. There's space in between those things. That's... space, these gaps in here. Gaps. I don't know why I'm so interested in them. But these stand out. These things stand out. Are there 3 or there 4 of them? I don't know. I got 4 here, I got 3 there. I don't know. But they stand out. They stand out. I'm getting comparators of like monuments. Monuments like, monuments. That kind of thing. But what do I mean by monuments? The idea is that they stick out. That's the idea of it. Where do monuments come from? And this is going to be more comparators of like Stonehenge. That kind of thing. Why? Because these things are sticking out. It doesn't have to be that, but I almost kind of get this feel here. Kind of like that. These things kind of popping out, sticking out. All right, let's go back here. 3, 9, 8, 4. Curved. In, angular, inside. Purple, green, blue, and whites and yellows and colors. Soft and sharp, angular, the angles, and they're solid. They're kind of, this is an idea here, but like they're kind of grouped together. But what I'm feeling is that these structures here are the most important. Important structures. These things popping up. But I'm also getting more in the memory comparison realms of, not just Stonehenge, but also like some kind of factory with smokestacks. That's another comparator, that these are smokestacks. But and it was that also with the comparator of like the Titanic with the big smokestacks, but these big things sticking out, you know, but they're separate. They're separate. I'm getting a dimensional sensation of these things. Yeah. Dimensional. I'm getting comparators, more comparators. Like it's like a nuclear facility or something. Comparators nuke facility. That kind of thing with the big barely things. But let me get back to the dimensional sensation. These things. Get back to the dimensional sensation of it, and not the comparators. Dimensional sensation. 3984. Glossy, yellow, bright. I'm getting this image of flowers with all these colors coming through. Flowers. I mean, there might be some kind of plants, life or something around here. Silver. Bright. I am getting like some voices, but I'm not getting the idea is that the structures are more important than people. Structures are more important than people. Here. Yeah, like they're almost like they're in a row. Like in a row. That's like the dimensional sensation. The dimensional sensation I'm experiencing is that they're the angle, they're in a row. Wait. They're in a row. These things, and they're big in a row. I want to stick with the dimensional sensation. I don't care about the target. I want to stick with the dimensional sensation. How am I experiencing that? Getting comparators now like they're mountain peaks. Yeah, like they're mountain peaks or something like that. But I like that. Yeah, but they're separate. They are separate. Here, there's something. Why is that? Why is that so interesting to me? You know, like they're spaced out. Spaced out. Yeah, and this is giving me comparators of like the pyramids of Giza. I don't even know how to spell that right now. Pyramids of Giza, you know, with the three structures and all that, you know. Separate, I mean, there's something about the, well, what would be interesting about that to me is the space in between them. You know, they're like aligned, you know, that's kind of which is what brings me to that Giza pyramid comparator, because they're all mathematically perfectly aligned and all that kind of stuff. And there's something about this that reminds me of that. Yeah. That they're aligned and they're spaced out. Yeah. Yeah, right. This angle of perception that I have. Angle of perception. What? I change my angle. Dimensional sensation. It's like a dimensional sensation. It's a mental construct, but it feels like it's more than that. More than that, like the input, that may be the other ingredient into the other ingredient into the mental construct is the input or the substance of the input. This input, this substance, or like I say, the residue, but it's like some kind of filler, some kind of like a mental filler. How was that? A mental filler. 3984. 3984. Sloping down inside. Getting his random thought of a cigarette case. Random thought. You know, what is it? It's angular. Boxy. You know, grippy. Yeah, I can grip onto it kind of. Yeah. Getting idea words of like sliding. Sliding. Yeah. Sliding, like this is giving me this idea like this thing is being moved. Like it's being moved or pulled or something like that. You know, heavy. It feels heavy. Like that. And it's giving me comparators of a like a parade float. That kind of thing, you know. But these things, I feel like I'm looking up at them, you know, they're bigger than me. You know. There's multiple of them. There's multiple of them. Multiple. This is like a base. These things, what the? Yeah, what are they for? I mean, I'm getting the idea that they're kind of steamy, or you know, maybe there's some. I think there's some heat or something here. Yeah. Giving comparators of volcano, you know, heat. But isn't there like in a row? In a row. You know. Is there something inside of there? Something inside. I want to, I'm not getting any emotional sensation. No emotional sensation of this one. Gripping. Gripping or sliding. You know, kind of like a mechanical feel. A mechanical feel, you know. What else? What else? I think it's dipped here. What am I thinking here? Like, I'm enjoying the dimensional sensation. I want to stay with it, just with the dimensional sensation. Yeah, but straight, vertical. You know, straight, vertical line. Of that. What else? I feel like I'm losing interest here. Let me try one more. 394. Smooth. Dusty. Angular. Glassy. Again, smooth. What else? Bright. Dingy. Open. What else? Glossy, and I got what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Open. What? What's the nature of it, though? What is the nature of it? The nature. The nature of this. Why is it even? What is it? It feels mechanical. It feels driven. Road. What does that mean? Driven. What does that mean? I'm losing interest. I'm losing interest in this now. try looking for the dimensional sensation. Just these rows. You know, it reminds me of like being at Karnak in Egypt or whatever. You know, these long, big pillars. Hang on. There's an idea here. Yeah, these kind of things. Yeah. That kind of thing. Kind of like that, but like roses. I mean, like they're tall pillars, like pillars. Like pillars, like I'm walking in between them. Again, this in the gaps, you know, like I would be here, walking in between them. You know, like I'm walking in between these things. You know, I'm walking around in between them, and here. Like in here. Walking around in between them. That's pretty much it. Alright, that's about all I'm interested in.